Good morning, it's June 16th, and this is To My Liberal Friends. I spent my whole life in the political world, and for all of that time, I've been a loyal Republican. People have asked me why I'm a Republican at different times in my life, and it's caused me to think about that question and to fully understand my response. People who know me well, they know that I grew up in the federal housing projects around Pittsburgh and finally in a wood frame house a block from Union Electric Steel Mill in East Carnegie, just outside of Pittsburgh. Times were tough, and most of the time in high school, I had one pair of pants, black or navy, and a couple of shirts. But that background made me appreciate the value of both work and anything that work could provide. It taught me the value of an education and the value of being an individual and not waiting around for someone or the government to give me something. I strongly believe that the values of our founding fathers are the core ones of the Republican Party. They came to this country to escape the heavy hand of tyrannical governments, and over the decades and centuries that followed, people flocked to the United States to enjoy the freedom of being able to pursue their dreams. They came with the entrepreneurial spirit of making their way without government interference or assistance. The result was the greatest nation in the history of the world. But somewhere along the way, we started losing that individualism that was so exemplified the American spirit. Politicians started promising people that the government could take care of them. As a young boy, I can still remember the words of John F. Kennedy when he was being inaugurated as president. He said, quote, "Ask not what your country can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country," end quote. I want the nation to go back to being individuals. I want the nation to get its fiscal house in order. The deal cut by House Speaker Kevin McCarthy earlier this month was a step in the right direction. It ensures that spending will be cut and that Congress will have to follow regular order and pass the appropriations bills individually. Gone will be the massive omnibus bills of 4,000 pages. No longer can Congress use the reconciliation process to pass huge spending bills. But to really get control of spending, it means that fiscally sound Republicans have to start winning elections. That means winning House seats, Senate seats, and the Oval Office. To do that, we need someone at the top of the ticket that can help those on the down ballot. Right now, the race for the Republican nomination has multiple contenders. The problem facing Republicans, in my opinion, remains Donald Trump. He has a strong hold on a significant number of Republican voters, and no matter how many legal issues surround him, they seem hell-bent on supporting him. They ignore the fact that polling shows that his endorsement caused many candidates to lose in the midterms. Trump-backed candidates were able to win primary races only to go down to defeat in the general election. Some pollsters have indicated that he may have cost Republicans up to 20 House seats and 4 Senate seats. That red tidal wave that was supposed to exist turned into just a dribble. As I've stated, if you truly want to get control of this country's fiscal crisis, then you have to start winning elections. But if Donald Trump is at the head of the ticket in 2024, I suspect that Republicans will once again let victory elude their grasp. Looking at a poll last week, we get some really interesting numbers. People were asked, do you think the charges against Trump are serious or not serious? All voters, 61% said serious, 28%. But here's what's important. 38% of Republicans said they were serious, 63% of independents. Democrats were 91%, and we expected that. And should Trump be charged with a crime in this case? Overall, 48% yes, 16% Republicans, but here's the critical one, 45% of independents. And that's the base the Republican needs. These numbers are most important, that enough Republicans are concerned about Trump's latest indictments that when you factor in the independents and Democrats, you see that he would be a significant drag on Republican candidates in the next election. Another problematic sign for Trump is that the number of Republicans bothered by his legal problems seems to be growing. So is the number among independents. More voters are bothered by the case against him on charge of taking classified material and trying to conceal it than by the earlier New York State charges related to his hush money for some sexual encounter. If you believe these numbers, and I do, then you start to realize that the number of Republicans and independents who would abandon the party because of Trump is only growing. That 35% that would follow him into hell won't change, but if they keep better candidates off the ballot, then Democrats will keep winning, and our deficits and national debt will keep on climbing, and we will only have ourselves to blame. This has been To My Liberal Friends. Thanks for listening. If you enjoy the podcast, hit the subscribe button, and recommend it to your friends. And if you have a comment, please make it. I'm glad to hear from you.